If you own a diesel vehicle, there's a good chance you're making a critical mistake that's costing you, damaging your engine, and reducing your fuel efficiency. Most new diesel owners operate their engines completely wrong. And today, we're going to reveal the truth about proper diesel RPM usage that could save you thousands in repairs. Make sure to watch till the end, because I'll share the exact RPM numbers you need to target for different driving situations, plus a simple monitoring trick that can prevent catastrophic engine damage before it happens. Let's start with the biggest myth in diesel driving. Many owners believe that keeping RPMs as low as possible saves fuel and reduces engine wear. While that may be true under light load and for very short durations, this couldn't be further from the truth when driving under moderate or heavy load. In fact, this approach is slowly destroying your engine from the inside out when applied incorrectly. Here's what most diesel drivers do wrong. They cruise at highway speeds in the highest gear possible, keeping their RPM gauge hovering around 100 to 500 RPM. They think they're being gentle on their engine and maximizing fuel economy. But what they're actually doing is creating the perfect storm for carbon buildup, turbo inefficiency, and premature engine wear. This is especially true if the engine is under load while operating at those low RPMs. All right, so to really get why this is all wrong, we need to dive into how diesel engines actually work. Unlike those gasoline engines, diesel engines rely on something called compression ignition. Now, diesel fuel, it burns slower than gasoline, and this slower burn time is actually just perfect when the engine is running at around 1,800 RPM. At this sweet spot, the combustion process has enough time to burn completely, extracting maximum energy from every single drop of fuel. But this ideal RPM range can vary a bit between different engine designs. So when you operate below this optimal range, especially when you're under load, you're not giving the diesel enough time or the right conditions to burn completely. This leads to incomplete combustion, and that, my friends, creates carbon deposits throughout your engine. Now, when you consistently run your diesel at low RPMs, especially under load, you're setting the stage for carbon buildup on critical engine components. This black SI material, it accumulates on your pistons, cylinder walls, intake valves, and fuel injectors. And this issue is even more pronounced in engines that don't have active cleaning systems or those that spend a lot of time idling or lugging around. So carbon buildup acts like an insulator, creating these hot spots in your combustion chamber. These hot spots can actually lead to overheating, uneven combustion, and eventually, engine damage like cracked pistons, warped cylinder heads, usually after a long period of neglect. If your diesel has a turbocharger, and honestly, most modern diesels do low RPM operation, kind of creates a perfect storm for turbo damage. Turbos need exhaust gas flow to spin up and create boost pressure, but at low RPMs, there just isn't enough exhaust energy to properly spool the turbo. When you're driving at low RPMs and suddenly need power, like say going up a hill or merging onto a highway, you put your foot down and expect the engine to respond. But the turbo isn't spooled up, so you end up with poor performance and excessive exhaust gas temperatures. This combination of high load and low RPM is honestly one of the fastest ways to stress a turbocharger, especially if you do it over and over again. One of the most critical aspects of diesel operation that a lot of owners completely ignore is exhaust gas temperature, or EGT. When you operate at low RPMs under load, your EGT just skyrockets. We're talking about temperatures that can exceed 1400 degree RF under heavy sustained load with poor air-fuel ratios. It's something you really can't afford to overlook. These extreme temperatures, they literally cook your engine components. Professional diesel mechanics know that high EGT combined with low RPM operation is a major contributing factor to premature engine failure in diesel vehicles. It's a scenario you definitely want to avoid. Based on extensive research and real-world testing, Most diesel engines operate most efficiently between 1,800 and 3,000 RPM. This is where the magic happens, folks. However, some engines, especially those heavy-duty or low-revving types, may have peak efficiency closer to 1,600 to 2,200 RPM. So, always consult your vehicle's manufacturer guidance. It's crucial to know where your engine performs best. So at 1,800 RPM, the diesel combustion process really lines up just right with the piston stroke. The fuel actually has enough time to burn all the way. The turbo is fully spooled up and giving you plenty of airflow, and your exhaust gas temperatures stay in that safe zone. For highway cruising, you should aim for somewhere between 200 hours and 2,500 RPM. Now, this can change a bit depending on your engine's gearing and torque curve. And for city driving, keeping it above 1,800 RPM helps make sure your engine runs clean and efficient. When you're towing or climbing hills, don't be afraid to let the RPM climb to 2,500 or even 3,000 RPM. Your engine is designed for this kind of short-term, high-demand situation. This really changes how you should think about selecting gears. Instead of always picking the highest gear possible, this applies to both manual diesel cars and trucks. For automatic diesel cars, consider using sport mode or manual shift options when available, or simply avoid the ultra-low RPM ranges that eco modes sometimes force. So if you're cruising at 65 mph and your engine is turning 1,400 RPM in sixth gear, go ahead and drop down to fifth gear and let it run at 2,200 RPM. Yeah, you'll hear the engine working a bit more, but honestly, this is totally normal and healthy operation. That slight increase in engine noise is nothing compared to the sound of a rebuilt engine or having to replace a turbocharger. Now you might be wondering, won't higher RPMs hurt my fuel economy? This is actually another confusing misconception. While it's true that running at higher RPMs uses more fuel per minute, operating in the optimal range actually improves your overall fuel efficiency. When your diesel burns fuel completely and efficiently, you extract more energy from every gallon. When you operate at low RPMs with incomplete combustion, you're literally wasting fuel. The unburned fuel becomes carbon deposits in heat, providing no useful work. One final tip that's crucial. When you first start your diesel, especially in cold weather, let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds, then drive gently for the first few minutes. Don't jump straight to optimal RPMs. With a cold engine, gradually increase your RPM as the engine warms up. This prevents thermal shock and ensures proper oil circulation to all components. Your diesel engine is designed to work, not to barely idle along. Operating in the 1,800 to 3,000 RPM range isn't hurting your engine. It's how diesel engines are meant to be used. Just remember that sustained operation at the high end near red line should be reserved for high load situations only. Stop babying your diesel with ultra-low RPMs. Start operating it in its designed range, and you'll discover what these engines are really capable of. Your wallet, your engine, and your driving experience will all improve dramatically. Remember, the goal isn't to make your engine work harder, it's to make it work smarter. And for diesel engines, working smarter means working in the optimal RPM range where combustion is complete, temperatures are controlled, and efficiency is maximized. The next time you're driving your diesel, pay attention to that tachometer. Keep it above 1,800 RPM. Target 2,000 to 2,500 for cruising. And don't be afraid to let it climb when you need power. Your engine will thank you with years of trouble-free operation. Thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Most diesel owners unknowingly shorten the life of their engines. But now you know the truth. Diesels aren't meant to be babied at ultra-low RPMs. They're designed to work in that sweet spot where power, efficiency, and longevity all come together. At CarFix Free, we bring you insider knowledge that mechanics rarely share. Tips that save you money, prevent costly breakdowns, and make your car last far beyond what the dealers want. So if you're serious about keeping your diesel and every car you'll ever own running at peak performance, Hit that subscribe button right now. Join thousands of smart drivers who refuse to drive blind. Because here at CarFix Free, every video puts you in control of your car's future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.